Cracking the concrete rule. When achieving certain levels of knowledge and or power to progress the movement, create an opportunity for others to use the same pathway already forged. Be like the flower growing in the concrete. It doesn't bash or look down on all the other plants that failed to make it through the concrete. It weakens the concrete, creating space for other flowers to come through. Don't sit on your success and gloat over the community. Help other community members achieve what you have by helping them down the road you have blazed. Look, look. I don't know, so I'm realizing how different my mindset was growing up. I always thought that as black people, especially as black people in America, that we were supposed to reach back, that we were supposed to help others. And I gathered that mindset because learning about Malcolm X, learning about Dr. King, learning about Harriet Tubman, especially Harriet Tubman, learning about her, learning about all of the forefathers and foremothers, our ancestors that came before us, who did what they did to make life for us better today. So in my mind, I thought all black people realized that, and all black people was in the business of giving back. Now remember, I'm in like elementary, middle school thinking this. And as I got older, I realized that every black person don't think or feel like that. And there's a lot of individualistic attitudes. But I love this code so much because it's how you continue to build upon the community that you're trying to build. It's how you make sure that your future is insured. It's how you make sure that a foundation is set, and then they continue to build upon that foundation. Is how a nation is created. Like if I could go out and learn how to become whatever I want to become, and I see other black people want to do that, I'm creating that lane where all of them could come in behind me. I want to make it easier for them. I want other people to be empowered as well. So that's why I love that rule, because it's all about the individual becoming empowered, but also the group becoming empowered as well.
Well, you know, the interesting thing about this particular rule is that 125 years ago, this rule was actually supposed to be what propelled black people from the depths of slavery. You know, the
Talented
recovery
10.
part. You know, Booker T. Washington with building Tuskegee and creating his agricultural university plan, where we would build it, and that was the original. If we build it, they will come. And then you look at W.E.B. Du Bois and his creation of the Talented Tenth. And what the Talented Tenth was supposed to do was blaze the trail, get the information, and bring it back to the rest of the community and pull the community up. Not what it became, which was a buffer zone that was utilized by, the system of white supremacy, which we spoke to earlier, to maintain a glass ceiling for progress for anybody who was black who didn't qualify for that 10%. So that in itself, if you do that, you create a path of least resistance to success. And what we've been dealing with is a path of least resistance that keep us impoverished and keeps us under the thumb of the systemic system of white supremacy.
Absolutely. I think you guys both summed up that rule pretty well. I don't have nothing to add.
I just want to say real quick caveat. I believe because I was reading a book about it. I was reading a W.E.B. Du Bois book about Talented 10th, and I forgot exactly the person, but he got that concept from a white man. So when you were talking about how that concept created a buffer zone, because look who it came from. It came from the dominant community. And yes, that will help them because they're empowered, but for us, it created a separation.
He's a Rockefeller protege.
Yeah.
So, I think actually he did one of those things where we all try to do. We're going to go into the system and change it and manipulate it, and it's going to work for us. And
then
there's an old saying: when you dance with the devil doesn't change. The devil changes you.
I keep telling folks, stop, black people, stop going into these other people's systems and spending all your time and energy trying to change their system. Use that energy to create our own or help strengthen something that's already out there. Go ahead.
No, I can't say that because I do think that ties in to the cracks in the concrete. The flower don't grow through the cracks in the concrete and try to become another piece of concrete.
Right.
But even to that, there's an interesting saying about Chinese culture. Um, China has been conquered a lot of times throughout its history,
Yeah.
dozens and dozens of times throughout its history. But it remains China. You know why? Because the people that conquered China become Chinese.
Now, because it's a code of conduct.
It's a code, right? It's a code of conduct. It's a culture in place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
say it again. You
that's
said, but you said what you said is powerful. The people who conquer the Chinese become Chinese. That's
yeah,
powerful.
right. Right.
Yeah.
You think about all of the different dynasties and all of the different people and all of the different places just to come in and conquer China, and it's still called China,
They don't
still
even tear
Chinese
down.
people.
They don't even tear down the palaces. They move in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The
That's
Great
what
Wall is still there.
right after it was rendered obsolete. Nobody was like, that's a lot of resources. We could build a lot of shit with that. No, man, that's part of our culture. That ain't part of your culture. That's part of the people that built it to keep you out.
Well,
It's
the
part of my
Mongol,
culture now.
well, the Mongols, the Japanese, the British, the US going in there. Everybody like, yeah, all right, yeah.
But that's the
Yeah.
I think that's the bigger point. I think with this rule, you had W.B. Du Bois with the talented 10th. You had all of these people with the idea of it, but I don't think anybody really sat down and planned out the scope of it because they were the cracks in the concrete. But instead of trying to get people to come up and follow in their footsteps and expand what they were able to do, they tried to venture off and create safe zones in other places.
Yeah.
Instead
Just
of
like,
bringing people up with them, they tried to open other avenues and other places for other people to do other things. That's not what we talking about. If you are a world famous rapper and you got this shit figured out inside and out, create spaces for more conscious rappers to come up and spread that message. Let them follow in your footsteps. That's what we're saying. If you're a successful business owner, teach other people how to be successful business owners. Come through and spread that thing out like that. Instead of don't be a famous rapper and say, you know what? I done figured this rap shit out. I know how to print money off of it. It's easy. It's easy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna build a school because I don't know shit about building schools.
don't do what Kanye did. But think about it. Don't do what Kanye did. Look at he's crying because the white folk won't let him in their club. But he's
Instead of building his
successful.
own. Right.
Don't do it. And go back to the story. What's the name of the family in the story you told, Pat?
The Sweets.
The Sweets. The Sweets are an example of the flower going through the concrete and trying to become concrete.
Well, in